Hello everyone, this is Nikki K and welcome to another episode. And today I'll be talking about the Sagittarius December energies, and I'll be pulling out some tarot cards. I will also be talking about what the planets are saying, because as you guys know, the planets are always in conversation, whether it's good or bad, whether they're clashing. There's some major planets that are in play. So let's get to it, shall we? So the first planet message that is going direct is that we have Neptune going direct. Now, Neptune's been alive and kicking for all of us. To a point, it's kicking some of our asses. And obviously, the fixed signs, the mutable signs are going to be feeling this, but especially Pisces. Now, Pisces has had a very life-changing time from 2010, 2011. And next year is going to be conjuncting Jupiter. So that's going to be very interesting. So it's about, when it was retrograde, the veil was lifted off for a lot of us. And some of the things were not very pretty. A lot of us fell. I felt that a lot of us saw many things come to light, and some of them, when Neptune is not retrograde, it's like we're living in a bit of a dream world where we can just go into our dreams, dream, and things get really foggy, communication is a bit and it's time to be alone. It's time to do what we want to do. Also, we can go to a shadow side of addiction, but we can also go to the higher place of Neptune, which is being creative, doing a spiritual practice, and also dancing, singing, writing poetry, reading. So we're all going to be feeling this to a huge extent. We can't forget that we have the big one for December, because, Sagittarius is alive and kicking in December. And, we're coming from this universal love of Neptune going direct, and we have this total solar eclipse in Sagittarius. Now, I've done a recording on that already for you guys to listen to, so check it out. I've also done a tarot for all of the signs, so guys, check that out. So most of the themes for this Sagittarius, because it does conjunct Mercury, and also Neptune's involved a little bit. So the themes with this is about how we're seeking like limitations. It's all about freedom, enjoyment, adventure, higher learning, publishing. So some of you could be doing some writing, long distance travel, of course, any philosophy, conversations and communications. And it's ruled by Jupiter, so this is about blessings, and blessings can come, it can appear very small and it gets extremely big. It's about expansion. So we're going to be feeling all of these positive energies, and at times we can go too far, but that's what Sagittarius wants us to do. It's ruled by the archer, which shoots from the arrow. It sees what it wants for the future and it really goes for it. And even if there's mistakes along the way, it's like, okay, that happened. What can I do next? How can I move on? So obviously it does depend on where it is in your house chart, but that's like the major themes that we're going to all be feeling. We also, on the 13th, we have Mars going into Sagittarius. And it's more or less the same energy. Mars does like being in Sagittarius. And also, happy Mars return to anyone who has Mars in Sagittarius. You're going to have full dynamic effect on you when it comes to like your drive, even how you speak. You could be moving faster, wanting to meet up with people. It is the Christmas season, And, it's about trusting in yourself, trusting in your dreams. All can be forgiven at this time, even if there is some clashes along the way. And, it's about creativity, shooting towards your goals. A lot of us are going to be having a bit more passion. We're going to be feeling more positive, more optimistic. And so it should be. We're moving from the intensity of Mars that was in Scorpio, and it was more, things were boiling under the surface, and it just exploded in a emotional, volatile way. We were very intense, but now everything's going to be out in the open. Speech is going to be out in the open, full dynamism, everything's just going to be very full on. And it can be too much for some of us, but some of us, we just need this fire to actually really come out. On the 13th as well, we have Mercury. It enters Capricorn. And with Mercury entering Capricorn, this is about us being a bit more self-controlled, like in the mind. So how we communicate is going to be more serious. It's going to be more practical, more down to earth. We can feel it very, very cautious, because we don't want to. It's not like when Mercury was in Sagittarius, it was just thinking about something and just doing it. With it being in Capricorn, it's thinking about it and then really planning, going over plans, seeing the pros and cons before you move forward. And it's even like the thinking as well is very conservative. It's very constructive. It's not about, moving too fast. If someone comes to you with an idea or a plan, it has to be more practical. It has to have a bit more common sense. Things have to be sort of like perfect in a way as well. But it is actually good for, for signing like business contracts, anything to do with that. Yes, but I think because Mercury is a business planet anyway. So going over contracts, signing them, knowing your worth as well, working towards a goal, and not rushing. On the 19th, because we're easing into Capricorn season. On the 19th, we have Chiron. It goes direct in Aries. We also have, so this is to do with like healing when it comes to anything with like our with leadership, also showing that even if we feel very sensitive, it's not a weakness, it's actually a strength. So we're going to have to heal in all of these Aries realms. And even if we're injured in any way, it's not carrying on. It's like healing that wound in order to carry on and showing that you are hurt. On the 19th as well, we have Venus going into Capricorn. Venus, it goes retrograde into Capricorn. And with Venus, I've done a full video on that on my YouTube page, Beyond Astro K, so check that out for all the signs. So on the general theme, with Venus going retrograde, it's like how we express ourselves can be a bit more remote, a little bit like a robot, but it's just like it's cautious. So we can be quite cold, can be quite aloof, a little bit like Aquarius. There can be some fear that if we show emotion, it's a bit of a weakness, but it's just fear because we don't want to appear. It's like, how can I put it? It's like fear that we don't want to get hurt in any way. So if any of you have Venus in Capricorn, I think you guys know what I'm talking about. Anything you do and plan, especially in terms of like romance and intimacy, is definitely for the long term. So you're not going to be taking any commitment. You're not going to be taking any commitment. You're going to be taking any commitment serious. Everything is going to be very serious, especially when it comes to like your money and your finances. This is not about waste in any way. But it is great to be discussing when it comes to, commitment. like rehashing values on commitment. There could be discussions on marriages too. If it was like sort of brushed under the table, it's like, okay, come on, let's sit down, let's talk about this, and we can sort of, talk about how we are, our deep, intimate ways, even though it can be quite hard to sort of get it all out. But, but the mind, I do feel, will be, because Capricorn is a sign that is about, work and career. So the mind, so I think in terms of Venus being in Capricorn, it will be a lot to do with, climbing that career ladder. But the goal is to actually communicate your emotional senses too. On the 21st, we have the sun, it enters Capricorn, and we also have the winter solstice as well, one of the shortest seasons. So it actually feels like it's the winter solstice already, guys. It feels really cold already. So personally, I think that autumn should be the shortest. But anyway, so yeah, we have the sun enters Capricorn. So it's all the Capricorn ways about us being serious, planning for our future. They can also be us feeling a bit more mature. We're coming from this Sagittarius fun energy of adventure. So it's about sticking, sort of like staying in your lane, being more conservative, being, using anything that you're going to be doing is for the long haul, it's for the long term. It's all about long-term goals. And it's just in time for, we're going into 2022. And we have like the North Node is also going into Taurus. But we're going to see more of that effect happening in January. And I will talk about that. And also with the South Node going into January as well. But I'll talk about that next year. On the 24th, we have Saturn, the last square of Saturn in Aquarius, squares Uranus in Taurus. And guys, what a time it has been for a lot of us. The first one we had was in February. Then we had another one in June where Uranus was more at the forefront because Saturn was retrograde. And now we have this one. Saturn's no longer retrograde, it's direct. So this is to do with, higher ups, with the people. But, it is, as Saturn is also about karma. So there's going to be a lot going on, guys. And this can be very slow or it can be very fast. You just never know what Uranus is gonna say. And with this is about lots of growth and change, and it can be change with us on an internal level. This can also be change. We're going to see a lot of like global change around the world. I could even tell you what is going to be the full effect, but there's just going to be a lot of change. We've seen a lot of change happening as well, a lot of uprising and change, and some of it has been quite disturbing, but some of it has been for our better good. And this is just showing us if we resist change is going to be put on us. It's going to be forced on us. And when these changes do come, what do you do with it? Are you going to roll with it, or are you still going to try to control it? And if you do roll with it, this can really change your life and change your world into you thinking and being different. Uranus being in Taurus is switching up so much things when it comes to our food, agriculture, how we treat our bodies, our self-care practices, and how we treat ourselves. So, the last time we had this was 20 years ago, and Saturn was in Taurus and Uranus was in its home sign of Aquarius. So we can probably see these themes coming back again, but it's going to be very different. Last time when it was in Taurus, it was, we saw this whole theme of money and style and fashion, and there's a lot of greed going around, and having this car, having this home with lots of designer clothes. Shout out to all of you, shout out to the 80s babies who were growing up, like leaving their teens, going into their 20s in the 2000s. They saw this, and there was a lot of pressure to live up to this sort of like lifestyle that was pretty unattainable. I felt personally that Saturn was more stronger with it being in Taurus to the Uranus in Aquarius, because it made us see that we had to do all this. Like, even if you're a person that was very really happy with a standard life, you had to really attain to have this other life. This it was very like, celebrity life was so big. You had to have this sort of celebrity body and life and cars and houses, and have this job, have this certain amount of money, without realizing that with Uranus behind is going to be causing stress. So in order for you to have what you wanted to have, you're going to have a lot of stress along the way. And I think a lot of us sort of more or less downplayed that, because we just wanted to attain all these unattainable things. So now with Saturn being in Aquarius, it's about, you can attain certain things and certain goals, but it's going to have to be very different. It's going to have to be for the people. And with Uranus being in Taurus, it's about, you may want this type of goal and money, but that's not going to be happening anymore. That's all gone. It's not about having the perfect body now. It's about working with your body. It's not all about, if you want organic food, you're going to have to grow your food. And, if you want this amount of money, why don't you just try and go independent? All these things. So I feel this time, Saturn is more stronger. Saturn in Aquarius is more stronger. Whereas last time I believe that Saturn in Taurus was more stronger because of how things are. And, let's be honest, guys, we are seeing this huge change in terms of like this whole world that we try to attain to be. That's more or less dying out anyway. So Aquarius is showing us about independence and trying to work in a group instead of like trying to work by yourself and, being greedy. And, it's about the whole collective. So we're going to have another hint of that, which will continue in 2022. On the 29th, we have Jupiter leaving Aquarius. And what a time it was. I mean, I don't know if you guys felt it. For me, it was okay. To be honest, it was okay. I personally didn't think things moved fast enough. Maybe because it conjuncts Saturn. And, Saturn is all about time. So it is about time. So every like 5 years or so, things are going to be changing. So we may not have seen a lot of huge changes happening in terms of equality. But I think over time it will be. Remember, this is just like the beginning of the 2020s. So with Jupiter being in Pisces, its home sign, this is very monumental because it's another 12-year cycle. Because it's in its home sign, traditional home sign. And, Sagittarius is definitely going to benefit from this. The other signs like Virgo and Gemini is going to affect you as well. So you'll all be highlighted with this. But this is a time of like, us showing compassion, working on our dreams and connecting with like-minded people. This is also about, doing spiritual work, working on forgiveness, doing volunteering work. Some of us may decide that we actually don't want to do like the daily grind. We want to get a bit more spiritual. We might want to work in like more seclusion, solitude. So that could be things like working in libraries, working in labs, helping people. This is a very mystical time. We're going to be showing, I feel there's going to be a lot more sensitivity going to be shown to the whole, like on a collective level. And also, I also feel that, this is very monumental and special because it's going to be conjuncting Neptune next year, which is going to be a brand new 13-year cycle, because it's still in Aquarius, the Neptune-Jupiter conjunction. And we're seeing a lot of this being played out. And this happened in 2000 and... when was this? Yes, this happened in 2000 and... was it 2009? I believe this happened. Yeah. So from 2009 till now, until next year, April, it's going to be happening, this new conjunction. So, yes, it's going to be powerful, very powerful. But also there's going to be some craziness as well, because Neptune, it is one of the quite dangerous planets as well. So that was what the planet conversations that we're having for this December Sagittarius / Capricorn season. So I've drawn out some cards, and the first card that I have is the Six of Pentacles, and this is these card messages that we can work with. So feel free, guys, to come back to this message just to have a little reminder of what message you should be working with. The Six of Pentacles is about giving, showing your love. It's not all about yourself, it is about others too. So I feel definitely, because we have the solar eclipse in the first week, with the Six of Pentacles, there's going to be a lot more positivity, a lot more giving, coming together with others. We're going to be showing generosity to people and showing generosity to ourselves as well. And, nothing really can hinder our happiness and growth. I feel there's going to be a bit more love in the year, a lot more open communication, a lot more open talking, a lot more honest communication as well. And it's about coming together with people that we love and care for. It's come up to Christmas season, so it's a time of goodwill. So I wouldn't be surprised, guys, if there was some news along the way about when it comes to money, comes to shared resources, because in London there was a lot of people that weren't working there. There was money, it's less money. I think a lot of us are actually feeling that. So some of you may even get a job, a new job in December. Some of you can actually, if you've been working somewhere, there can be a pay rise. There could, well, we don't know, because there's more news that's going on about, lockdown. So we don't know what's going on there, but it does feel more, yes, we're still in a pandemic, but it does feel more, there's more of a giving spirit happening. And like I said, there's some people, if you've been working somewhere, you could get a pay rise. Some of you could find a new job. You can find that you're very creative. You're finding different ways in creating something for yourself, so which actually brings in money. And hence the reason why we're feeling very generous and giving back to others. And this also goes to, helping people which are worse off than us as well. Giving money to the homeless, or giving money to charities, volunteering, and also, just being a bit more, having more empathy. I feel there's a bit more empathy that's going to be happening in December, especially with this. And it's going to be not when we're doing it for our own good karma. It's just we're doing it because this is what we feel to do. We actually love to help people. So it's going to be given in a huge, in a very much an open way. Would you like me to help you with this? Would you like money? Here's your present. It's going to be very different to how it was last year, December. And even if we do go in lockdown, or, it's still going to be, it's still the love is going to be more shown now. Okay. Then we have the Nine of Wands, which is about, even though there is a strength behind what we're doing, there is still a bit more of a guardedness. There's still a bit more, with a bit more of a wariness that's going to be happening for a lot of us. And I feel that we're still, even though good things are happening to a lot of us, we're still not really sure. Like deep down, if we, deep down in our hearts or in our minds, we're projecting one way, but deep down there can be some insecurities because we're still not sure on how December's going to pan out and how the new year will pan out. But still, we know that there's an end coming. There's an end goal that we're all working towards, but we're still not really sure. We don't really know what the future does hold, and that's okay. We are, none of us are like magicians out here. Some of us are lucky to see the future, but no one's still not really sure of what the future holds. So, we're going to be, some of us can actually show that side. Some of us can actually show, what, I don't really feel happy. I don't really feel like, I feel quite sad about what's going on. I feel that, I feel like my life is sort of spinning out of control because, I haven't got A to Z, or I feel that there's things that I want to do and I feel that I can't do it. So it's an honesty to it as well, but even though we're going to be projecting, I don't care about what happens, we're still underlying, still like sensitive, we're still, not sure, we're still like a bit weary, some of us could also be thinking that, I have to project this side to me because if I show this side, then people will think that I'm weak. But it's not a weakness. It's, if you show your supposed weakness, it's actually more of a strength. And it's also an ending. It's also like I feel on one hand, it's an ending of us having to be strong. That's an ending. It's like, okay, show that side to you, but also still work towards your goals, still work to what you want to do, even if in the world, even like if this month does seem unsure, and this unsurety could also be to do with like your money and your family, your home, talk to people, say how you feel, because it will sort of not make you worry as much. It could also make you feel that in the end, everything's going to be okay. And I do think that in the end that there will be some like good news. And sometimes I think that worrying is also good too, because it actually brings you back down to earth. And the last card that we have is the Sun card. And the Sun card is that, yes, everything's going to be okay. Everything's going to be fine. And, I feel once we work, because the 9 of Wands, it could be like our shadow selves. But I feel that the ending, especially at the last card, but the ending of December is that everything will be okay. The Sun card is about creation. It's about, happiness, vitality, energy. So even though it's very cold outside, guys, there's going to be a new sense of happiness that we're going to be feeling like, we've made it to 2022. Okay, because some of us didn't. Yeah, so it's about being grateful for what we have, being grateful for what we got, even if you have a little, just be grateful for it. Okay, because and look around your surroundings. You got a roof over your head, you got food in the fridge. Do you have a family, people that love you? Do you have your family? Do you have your kids? You have your health? These are the things that we have to be grateful for. This is what the Sun card is showing. And it feels like, yes, we're going to Capricorn season. It's about planning. It's about being a bit more serious, but still be happy. Still be grateful that you can get up in the morning and, be grateful that you have a strong body. Be grateful. And even if things are going wrong for you, or even if things are not, like I said, not panned out the way you want it to, try and think of like the good things about you. Try and think of the good things about your job. Try and think of because some people haven't got a job. Some people haven't got a roof over their head. Some people haven't got clothes, So I think that and one thing about Sagittarius is about, sometimes Sagittarius does things very quickly because it's going to miss out, but it also does things because life is so great. And the Sun card is showing us life is great. Obviously, there are times that we have to be realistic. That's when the Sun goes to Capricorn. It's about being realistic. Whatever goals you've set in Sagittarius season, now it's time to put it into action. So it's about being realistic, but also it's about, at least I actually wrote down my goals. At least I actually started making headway. So towards the end, even going into December 2022, put these plans into action, but try and have a smile on your face, even if it is a serious time, and just be grateful, because things have been very crazy this year, and it's like we are in a new world. 2019, guys, 2018, we would never think. So the Sun card also wants us to, have this, work with our hearts a lot, work with that heart space, like the heart chakra, and, or even work with your sacral chakra as well, and bring that light out. And just look around and see what you've actually got and just be grateful for it. Okay? So guys, that was your December tarot and planet message for Sagittarius season. Going on to Capricorn season. And once again, I'd like to say happy solar return to Sagittarius and happy solar return to Capricorn. But obviously for you, more Sagittarius, because we just entered, your sun. And yes, so thank you very much, guys, for listening. And like I said, check out my solar eclipse for all the signs in Sagittarius on my YouTube page. There's timestamps there. Also, check out my monthlies I've done for December for all of the signs. It is in one video. And also feel free to let me know if you want me to do separate or you want me to continue just to do it with one video. I actually quite enjoy one video, but obviously, I like to hear you lot's comments as well. Also check out my Instagram and also check out my, the other episodes that I have done. And coming up will be, guys, the Diary of a London Black Queen. It is coming up, guys. Just been working on it. It's coming up. It may be in the new year because this year has been especially this second half of this year has been very busy. Might be in the new year. I might just squeeze one out now. Marcia Morris is dying to talk to you all. And also I have coming up the Pluto series. I'm going to be doing Pluto in Scorpio generation. There's a lot to cover. I feel there's more to cover with the Pluto in Libra. Pages to cover with that. So I'll be doing that. So listen out for those as well. And I'll also be doing the number 6 year, which we are actually going to. And the number 6 year is the Venus year. And, the planets don't really lie, guys. We're going to a Venus year, number 6, which is the Lovers card. But also, guys, we're going to having this North Node return, which is the Venus time. So, happy times. So listen out for those, guys, I'll be doing. But yes, and I'll also be back next week with the weeklies. So thank you very much, guys, for listening, and I'll speak to you soon. Take care. Bye.